Traces of ashfall have been recorded in several areas in Sorsogon following a phreatic eruption of Mount Bulusan just this morning. President Rodrigo Duterte is set to lead his final Independence Day rites as the country's chief executive. Heads up commuters, another big-time oil price hike is set to take effect in the coming week. And the Golden State Warriors have made it a tied NBA Final Series after defeating the Celtics in Game 4. Fast, focused, and fearless. Here's everything you need to know to jumpstart your weekend. I'm Riza Diaz. As the country celebrates Independence Day, 83 farmers, advocates, and students remain detained in Concepcion, Tarlac after their arrest at the Hacienda Tinang earlier this week. Let's get an update on their situation. We have their lawyer, Attorney Jobert Filga, joining us via Zoom. Attorney Jobert, good morning.
Good morning.
Sir, Attorney, would like to find out what is the current situation, again, of those that have been arrested and detained during the bungkalan in Hacienda Tinang. And we'd like to find out, are they being treated well and humanely?
The 83 are currently detained at Concepcion Police Station. 50 of them, 30 males and 20 females, were put in jail yesterday. So the jail is very crowded and it's very congested. Today we expect to post bail to all of them, and hopefully all of them will be released this morning.
Little info, Attorney, on this bail. How much is the bail that has to be posted?
Each of them are required to post initially 3,000 for malicious mischief and 36,000 for the illegal assembly. But yesterday evening, we were able to obtain the approval of the consent of the prosecutor assigned to the court to reduce the bail to one-half. And we will be filing that motion today in Concepcion Court, and we are glad that the honorable judge of the court has accommodated us, and he will be there in his sala this morning to accept our motion to reduce bail and hopefully to post bail for the 83.
Attorney, can you give us, please, a backgrounder on what a bungkalan actually is and how come it led to the situation of the arrest of the farmers and their supporters?
Bungkalan is the act of farmers of cultivating the lands they own. In the case of Tinang or Barangay Tinang, farmers of Barangay Tinang, they are beneficiaries of the Agrarian Reform Program, and they were given collective CLOA as early as 1995. Yet from 1995 until this day, they were not able to take possession of the land. In 2018, the farmers filed a petition to the Department of Agrarian Reform to issue the CLOA to them and to install them to the lands. There was already an order by the Department of Agrarian Reform for the installation of these farmers, but unfortunately, the cooperative, the Tinang SN Multipurpose Cooperative, filed a petition for annulment of judgment last December 2021 with the Regional Office of the DAR, Region 3. And the Regional Office of the DAR, Region 3, instructed the Provincial Agrarian Reform Office and the Municipal Agrarian Reform Office to first hold in abeyance the implementation of the installation order, because there was this committee, a validation committee that was created to determine whether or not these farmers who petitioned for the installation are legitimate beneficiaries. Just this Friday, I have received a copy of the order of the DAR confirming that the farmers who participated in the bungkalan are indeed legitimate farmer beneficiaries. So these farmers have been asking the DAR to install them. Because of the delay, they took it upon themselves to do the cultivation. And that is why the cooperative opposed and requested for the assistance of the police, informing the police that they are supposedly the owner, or the cooperative is supposedly the owner, which is not true, and that these farmers are destroying the newly planted sugar canes in the land.
Attorney, Go ahead.
That lead to the arrest.
Attorney, what now are the charges filed against those who are detained? And based on your opinion, your legal opinion, will these charges hold water?
Initially, there were 4 charges that were filed. One is malicious mischief, or the alleged destruction of the newly planted sugar cane by the cooperative. Then there was this obstruction of justice, because according to the police, when they were trying to arrest those who are cultivating the land, the participants who were arrested, the supporters of these farmers who were there, prevented them from making the arrest. The police also said that while they were arresting all of these 93 people, or more than 90 people, they resisted arrest, so they were also charged with resistance and disobedience. We were not aware that there was also an additional case of illegal assembly. So there were 4. We thought for a while that it was 3. And when the inquest resolution was issued, they were eventually charged with malicious mischief for the destruction of the sugar cane, and for illegal assembly, because according to the prosecutor, there were armed men who participated in the assembly, in the group, and the purpose of the assembly is to commit a crime, which we do not believe is true and correct. Also, the malicious mischief case, to me, would not prosper, because the farmers are the real owners of the land, not the cooperative. And during the inquest proceedings, I presented to the inquest prosecutor the title of the farmers, and I also asked the prosecutor to ask the cooperative to produce also their proof of ownership, but they could not produce any. On the illegal assembly, which surprised us, there was not even any firearm that was recovered from the farmers. I think there was an allegation that some of them are armed, but no one can pinpoint who of those farmers or their participants are armed, and no arm was recovered, unless they consider the bolo and the shovels and those farm implements that were used by the farmers to cultivate the land as armed, or the arm that was contemplated by law, which to us and under jurisprudence is referring to firearms.
Right. Attorney, in your opinion, were there any human rights violation that took place in the arrest and detention of the Tinang 83?
Yes, there are a lot of human rights violations. First, the police should not have been there, and they should not have caused the arrest, because, as I said, farmers are doing a legitimate activity to cultivate the land they own. And there is this memorandum circular between the Philippine National Police, the ILG, and the DAR, which says that if there is an agrarian dispute, only the DAR can ask assistance from the police to intervene. In this case, it was the co-op who requested the police to do the arrest. And at that instance, the police arrested these 93 without even distinguishing who are the farmers, who are the students. Some reporters, student journalists were also arrested, 13 of them. They were just covering the activity. So, and worse is, in the jail, they were subjected to interrogation without the presence of counsel, and the police did not even let the persons arrested undergo medical check-up, which is an SOP under the procedure. They were put into a very cramped and crowded jail, and I was asking the police to not let them inside, because we are not sure given COVID situation, we are not sure whether the other detainees there are COVID-free. They did not ask the detainees whether they have comorbidities. Some of those students who were put in jail collapsed, suffered trauma. Right now, I was informed by one of the mother that one of those put inside the jail could not breathe, and that's why I asked for a medic. So there were several human rights violations that happened.
Attorney Jobert, we'd like to thank you for sharing with us all those information and your time this morning. That's Attorney Jobert Pahilga, lawyer of the so-called Tinang 83.
Inaanunsyo po natin sa buong mundo na tayo ay isang bansa na may sariling boses.
President Rodrigo Duterte will lead the country's Independence Day celebration today. The official anniversary program will take place at the Rizal Park in Manila later at 9 in the morning. That comes with a flag raising and wreath-laying activity. Now, this will be President Duterte's last Independence Day in power and, incidentally, the first time he will be attending the formal rites in Luneta. But the chief executive has attended 2 other Independence Day celebrations before, one in Kawit, Cavite, and last year in Malolos, Bulacan. Wreath-laying ceremonies will simultaneously be done in some national historical sites in the country at 9 in the morning today. 27 museums around the country will also have their own set of programs to celebrate our 124th Independence Day. In celebration of this historic event, commuters can also enjoy free rides in LRT today. The National Historical Commission of the Philippines, or NHCP, says it remains important for Filipinos to celebrate our independence. NHCP senior researcher Francis Pacion explained that the true purpose of independence comes from the need of our country to experience equal rights during the Spanish era.
Ang tema po natin ngayon ay Kalayaan 2022, pagsuong sa hamon ng panibagong bukas. Napakahalaga po ng pagdiriwang po ng ating kalayaan, no, dahil ito po yung hudyat po ng ating pong pagsasarili, no. Inaanunsyo po natin sa buong mundo na tayo ay isang bansa na may sariling boses at we are destined po to course, no, our own future.
Pacion also said that being a good Filipino is the best way to celebrate our independence. That alongside with our goal to uplift our lives for the future.
Sa mga paraan po para pagdiriwang ang kalayaan po ay mag-isang mabuting Pilipino po, no, dapat aware po tayo sa ating pong mga duties and responsibilities po bilang isang mamamayan. Sumunod po, no, sa mga patakaran po, no, ng ating pong lipunan, ang pagiging pang makabayan po kasi ay nagtatranscend po ito hindi lamang po sa pagpapakita po ng Philippine flag, no, ng ating pambansang bandila. Ito po ay nakikita rin po sa iba po, no, sa ating mga pangarap sa pag-angat po natin na maingat ang ating sarili at maingat po ang ating pong bansa, no. So katuwang po ang mga pangarap po sana natin, no, sa hangarin po natin ng isang mas magandang kinabukasan po para sa ating bansa.
In other news, Mount Bulusan spewed ash after another eruption earlier this morning. According to PHIVOLCS, the phreatic eruption was detected at around 3:37 a.m. Residents along or around Irosin and Huban also narrated that they woke up with a large sound of explosion coming from the volcano. Huban Municipal Disaster Risk Reduction Management Office, or MDRRMO, already confirmed traces of ashfall in a dozen of barangay in their town. Now, entry within the volcano's 4-kilometer danger zone is strictly prohibited. Meanwhile, another big-time oil price hike is in the offing. Unioil projects that prices of diesel would increase by up to 4 pesos and 50 centavos per liter. Gasoline prices are likewise expected to rise by up to 1 peso and 60 centavos. Global experts noted that oil industry continued on its turbulent course last week. This as international benchmark Brent crude had been roughly steady at a high of $122 per barrel. In sports, the Golden State Warriors have tied the NBA Finals series at 2 games apiece after stealing Game 4 from the Boston Celtics, 107-97. Steph Curry took over for the Golden State, finishing with 43 points. Klay Thompson, meanwhile, added 8 of his 18 points in the fourth quarter, including a three-pointer that gave the Warriors a 95-94 lead they would not relinquish in the final 4 minutes. Now the series now heads back to the Bay Area for Game 5 on Tuesday. And those are the top stories of the hour. Join us later at 9 in the morning as we continue to monitor the day's biggest stories. You can also catch One News on Signal Play app. Register for a free account now, www.signalplay.com, and stream One News live anytime, anywhere. I'm Riza Diaz. Mask on, wash hands, and stay safe, Philippines. We are One News.